Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
One day we'll go out and play, but until I say so, don't bother me while I'm working. I refuse to multitask. I do it perfectly the first time. If I ever settled for less, I'd be beside myself. But I know even a wealth of perfect can never last. Perhaps that's why my boneless ass is always high, strung out, addicted to high-strung, hopeless romances in the form of one-night stanzas to hold tightly every panned, barely laid moment before they slink away and go extinct. Or I doff this skin and I'm off again to greet sleep's shady cousin. Oh, last smothered flame, please know whene'er I'd say it's black and white to me. I refuse to try and see another way. This blue and green life is too short not to record and hoard tightly every black and blue second. When we met, I was a wreck and regretful and hardly sober, but so were you. I felt sincerely in your sighs the day we met, the fear of being, and saw it clearly in your eyes the day you left, the fear of me. Does this guilt I feel make me a criminal? At least you found your true heart there somewhere in the liminal astray as well. Funny, I always thought they say non-opposites repel, but maybe in hell it's backwards. Well, at least that's my conjecture. Hell, but I came not to lecture. I just thought I'd paint a picture fuller for I wiped the pretty slate clean. When I thought I had already, you came heady to me in a late dream early the other morning. You looked perfectly lovely, lass. But even your perfect, set in rosy glass can never last. Alas, I had to admit it before I croaked. You know, someone had to. An inside joke on my shriving stone inscribed specially for you, but I hope you're thriving out and about, and I doubt you'll ever hear it. And besides, we shouldn't talk. Tick bites whisper in my right ear. You know it quite well, oh fine bell, that the longer that I stay here in a past tense keeping thy near, the more that your presence my dreams' future eyes blear. It's a long road to a stone's throw from a sheer drop to the frontier. I don't wish for you to disappear, but I'm sick. This too, you know, my dear Godot. Wait, don't go now. The ticking's ringing out clear. I take it back. I must abort. I like it more in this sphere. I don't want to go. I'm terrified. The show arrives and my fears. A bomb's about to go off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 glance is sometimes all it takes to fall in love, catch the bug, and end up, choked out, sputtering on a rug Rats plays on the TV. We're not allowed to pace freely along the corridor while she's placed under in the OR. Baby sis plays operation whilst our mother's sick, impatient. I'm impatient, gripped by the grim chance that she may very soon pass on. Meanwhile, I can't even choose to pass down the hall to unwind with a candy bar and a can of soda. I do not miss at all those quiet summers in Minnesota spent crying at the Mayo. I'd rather spend my funds on mustard. Custer, I trifle tithes on shiny trinkets and truffle custard. I'm a moth drawn to luster, lustful in heat, on the hunt for purple weed, blue blood, red wine, violet rain, and pink pussy. Really anything that can shush these skeletons right in front seat. Fuck me. Don't push me when I'm pissy. Here again comes the ticking. How the fuck can you not hear it? Far too lusty, this noise, trust me. I would never wish to share it. I can barely bear to bear it. I no longer even care if a bomb's about to go off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Life is all we get, so it ain't shit to say someday I want to claim I'm one of the best to touch a pen and mean it. As I grip it, I feel the rush again. Mother, forgive me for your sins. A bad man, avert your gaze. His pages are a murder den. Impatient in my nascence, just imagine the amazement. Maze went up to me, said I'm in good company, and have the thing, a chance to print in concrete, more handsome than I could ever be. I owe it to him to evolve into a titan of this artistry, and I promise on the lives of those before me that to this I'll see. The two of us were untouchable. He's Prometheus, I'm Gulliver. The bar's been raised, vault it, or fuck off and eat your Lunchable. Been a long road from the fat kid, sat lonesome in the lunchroom, drawing comfort in jotting prose and penning poems to nod his head to. When and where he let himself go, I'm not quite sure. First birthday premature, 34 and 4 ounces. What in the world are the chances that he'd make it for a chance at preaching freely to the masses? And did I mention that he's manic? Want a taste of what that feels like? Think that you can man it? Try drowning in 2 tabs of acid, 10 shots of Jack molasses, 6 bags of shrooms of Xanax, and just let go fucking spastic. I take the form and stretch it till it breaks my brain's elastic. It's not grown yet, so a sure bet's every new day that passes bears upon its backs new talents. The Godhead, I just channel it and wield it to challenge candidly the status quo. The truth is what you make it, though. Some truths are less subjective. My Star West objective is to follow my predilection past the cusp it runneth over. The end is nigh, and I'd like if I'd enjoyed this moment sober, so I suppose it's time to stop. Deflection. Without deflection, I drop the ink and plink the bullet where my mouth is. Mull it over. Don't have a cow, it's going to be awesome. Or simply awful. But at this point, I can't stop it. Even post this poem's drop. Shit. So for now, just relish the view. I heard a bomb's about to go off. 5, 4, 3, 2. Autumn blooms, winter wails, green looms, white whales, pink walls, a house of cards, and a taste that never turns stale. In my eyes, it may as well be the main course of the whole event. I like coming to another's aid. What can I say? I'm generous. Hendrix said that last line should obviate recognition. Break these walls down with euphoria forehead kisses. Delicious. Eyes open from below provides a striking view. The staff strikes only once it knows a river's rushing through. Jet streams gently encourage the jetties to move. I'm incorrigible. What's that? You don't fancy my attitude? Come find out firsthand just what this loud mouth can do. Smooth nails on paper skin, beckoning up and back, the carry case of an arrow, tug of hair, a stifled gasp, a crumbling composure past impossible to mask, Tantalus, salvation draped just beyond her grasp. As our delicate dalliance dances toward a confident crescendo, a couple of requests before it's officially time to let go. Hold tight to this ballet. It has nearly breathed its last. Hold tight to this emotion, blithely joyful, unabashed. Hold tight to this feeling, swell endorphin tides in mass. Hold tight to this moment. All good things must one day pass. Sometimes cigars are just cigars, like Freud said. A boy turned man still sleeping in mom's bed. Sometimes I pine over the fact that I'm not dead. I'm well read, I'm educated, full of enough cred, abilities to command synthetic symmetry. It's humbling, the essential part of me nobody likes to see. When it rears its head, everyone is an enemy. They're full of enmity. The animus is on a CD that looms on loop in the back of my brain electronically. I'm hopelessly paralyzed. I know there's something wrong with the way I feel about everything. I plead what is wrong with me as blaring siren peal repeals my rationality. Can I hope for change? And is it fixable, this part of me? The play's the thing, and I always hate not knowing how to be. I'm sentient, fully aware, and beginning to see exactly how I smile and wave to hide misplaced anxiety. I shouldn't be around other people. I'm a flight risk, subtly climbing in their head and hiding there like a benign cyst. It's devilish, I'm charming, but I'm also selfish. If I sell fish, I'm fishing my hand in the charity jar for $1.06. Why should they get it anyway when they don't pay rent? I've given enough to hospitals. At this point, it's ridiculous that I should break my back to piss away my hard-earned bucks to this. I have a sixth sense. It says I shouldn't give my sixth sense to sick kids. My neurons fire across crisscrossed lattices. I follow up cogent thought with non-sequitur tangents. It's uncanny how I link things and expect others to manage or even fathom the fathoms deep hair holes of a mind manic. But here I go again. So why don't you all take a pass at stepping a beat inside my head as I step through the looking glass? I'm not a rapper. I'm a poet. I'm a word adapter, a hapless addict rapping seamless syntax that doesn't tatter, but never sees the light of day. It's lightning that I'm after as I seize the swirling seas in my head comprised of idle chatter. I seldom canter, I air pedantic. I'm after a calling beyond a spot in the echo chambers of mindless chowder. Let's right away cut to the lean soul and write rhymes fatter than mad lads leaping high off of tall ladders, their ankles shattered. But all this style without substance contains no heart, no candor. It's by and large the same. Empty drivel passing for witty banter. If I could dribble just a moment on this tangent matter, rhyming for the sake of style proves no easy endeavor, but only with the touch of a deft hand, light as a feather, may it come together, all at the very end, and for that be better. But even the best distractions must retire. When the thrill is gone, life returns with a tire iron. I'm convinced that in a past go, I must have played with fire and stoked the ire of a being higher than I after inhaling a rail of barbed wire. The bump leaves me elated. Glory, sings the choir. It has its eyes on me, but I'm so goddamn tired. My vision narrows and I cannot seem to sire a plan to emerge victorious from the quagmire. What can I say? Self-amnesty is hard for me. In my cardboard packaging, grace came hardly. I was dropped a drop on the doorstep of a house party where I graced a happy home, God's most unfortunate adoptee. What's the point of getting good things given heartily when for some non-inchoate part of me, my success is not what it wants to see? I've lost morale before, but these wounds bleed mortally. I'm morally opposed to not stopping the problem, but the problem's me. Hello, how are you? I'm pleased to meet you so cordially. You can call me Icarus. Please avail yourself of my canopy. From my perch, I view the earth with utter apathy. Colors and shapes I don't relate to threaten my sanity. I'm not really a part of your world, only partially. Insofar as my being here, bereft of any sincerity, can seriously be considered as more than anomaly, and verily, is he a waste of imparity, he who cares nothing for his own posterity? I've given myself too many reasons for new austerity. My own polarity pollutes my life with too much severity, self-barbarity of endless temerity and asperity. Hospice can provide me no care. I mean, this is verity. If this is really it for me, there's no angularity. I understand the decision to cease my cellularity. And if things do go that way, I can tender meager clarity in the form of 4 more pseudo-sonnets offered voluntarily. Thank you.
A Brazilian man at my gym named Lou has a tattoo on the back of his leg that says, "You'll never walk alone." And I don't care that it comes from a Liverpool football team. I just needed someone to say it, someone who means it. Lou means it. Look what Lou puts into the world. That's what I'm going to put into the world. Reminders like my lonely wants your lonely to know it's not alone. Like it only takes one day of getting it right to remember how worth it this is, how there is no worthiness requirement for enlightenment, how you are the kind of overcoming that puts all the other threats in their place. You are a history of victories, no matter what story you've been telling everybody else. You're doing great. It's okay to not be good at being overwhelmed. Just be as possible as possible. Someone literally took a plane and wrote it into the sky over Los Angeles. The world isn't everything. Lordy, 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 would you have a look at that? Every single sign is pointing to surrender. Surrender means equanimity. Equanimity has nothing to do with trying to figure it out. There is nothing to want here. I don't want anything from you. Let's both of us try being altogether less inconvenienced by what needs to get done today. The solution probably won't exhaust us if we think ourselves into feeling good as much as we've thought ourselves into feeling bad. We'd be feeling better by now. Man, I'm gonna take Lou with me everywhere forever and put reminders into this world. Like when you let go this time, don't grab onto anything else. Sometimes resurrection is just a matter of laying down. There are parts of you that are evidence of everything good about soft. Imagine how hard this must be for the people who thought they had control over their lives. There's all these people in the world, y'all. Today I saw one in a grocery store hiding her face behind a wet cereal box. A moment of the loneliest day, the greatest die. There's all these people in the world going through it. And today I saw one on a balcony drowning in pianos, plagiarizing the ocean, reflecting so much despair into the moon that the moon began to believe them. So it had to turn the tide instead of tipping it. A tsunami of relief to remind me that this isn't where the story ends or even where it starts. This is where we change it. There's all these people in the world, and today I saw one in a gym, out of breath, just like our history with its hooligan tattoo reminding everyone at no point did I leave, even when I was at the point of no point in keeping me here. Healing is a wounded word. Y'all find the word that comes next, like relief, like you are a true story. Like yesterday, I saw an elderly woman in a video ask a penguin in a park, "Are you coming tomorrow? Please come back tomorrow because I love you. I love you a lot." Because for us to not be worth it, the light would have to stop trying. And it doesn't even know how to do that. Today, we watched a penguin in a park waddling like a long distance sprinter, dying to give her a hug, shouting with the heart of a whale shark, yelling, "I'm back. I'm back." And you won't believe what happened. And I can't imagine any life without you in it. Please come to all of them. Everybody's got a story that comes from an awful story that lives inside of a story that's dead. Stop telling it. Perfect. Probably isn't what you think it is. What are we even aiming at when we use that word? There will be a lot of shooting. Most of it won't be straight. Don't worry. You don't have to be good at everything. There are so many other people here. Your fate, if you really want to do something flawless, stay present. Your fate is just another word for now, just another name for transmute density. Meditation is critical, and mercy. Have mercy. These bodies are a sticky hologram. Being human does not require any further context. Your expectations of me are not my responsibility. Those are yours. Everyone gets the same amount of time to live their lives. I want to be a reliable narrator for a living, so I'll just tell you the worst of it first and be done with it. Realizing the transparency of my neediness was dignity well spent. Poets, forgiveness is a matter of advocating for dignity. When my body came home from the shame experiment, the first thing I saw was its resolve. If you still aren't willing to cut every loss, you are not yet prepared to qualify. Cut the loss, the story of it. I stopped being nostalgic when I started keeping up. Seeing a man run as fast as he can still gives me goosebumps. I ain't scared to die. I just don't want it to hurt. I bet the biggest misconception about death is that we won't care anymore. I will never not love you. Hiding the absence of your love is a mathematical impossibility. You were the year I wished my life on other people. Magnets are incapable of lying. Perfect was incapable of telling the truth. I wanted us to be the truth. Darkness is redundant. I meant to do it correctly. In loving gain of our memory and mercy, have mercy. Do not flake on the blessing. There is every such thing. We were every such thing, but I may have been grossly underprepared to receive love. Was it even in this lifetime that we knew each other? Tonight, I painted my apartment and remembered every life I've ever lived, including the one where you read this. Was I really too sensitive? Or were you just too unconscious? And if you weren't too unconscious, then were you just being cruel? Maybe we work our way to the middle. Maybe we work our way into what we are. Why don't you want to know what we are? I'll cut your costume loose. I'll cut you right out of it. When something is absent, it is absolutely not in your way. Get in my way. Come remind me what we are together. Do it soon, soon. We will have to say what we have to say to each other's faces. Mine is I love you. Mine is have mercy. I just wanted to throw something as hard as I could. I wasn't paying attention to what it would do when it landed. Do y'all remember the time we sat on top of the whole world and we told each other jokes about the ocean until everybody crumbled into tattoos of bakeries? Yeah, smelled good and felt right. We laughed so much that night. Was always looking for a four-leaf clover. It had nothing to do with luck, any revelation, any size. If we thought it would help, we would give it to you like a drunk octopus, riled up and wasted on light like this, like energy. Can neither be created nor destroyed. That means we are all exactly the same age, happening at exactly the same time. Well, welcome to a room full of self-declared old souls in juvenile clothes. Let's blow the cake off of our candles and the starving off of the words that got stuck to our throats. Hello, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Dear everybody, do this. Pretend we are on an airplane now, because we are, and that the cabin is undergoing rapid decompression, because it is, and that the oxygen masks have dropped. The adults, that's you, despite your excuses, the adults now get about 15 to 20 seconds of useful consciousness to help themselves so they can help the children at 39,000 feet in the clouds. Y'all, listen, we can stick anything into the fog and make it look like a ghost, but tonight, let's not become tragedies. We are not funeral homes with propane tanks in our windows looking like cemeteries. That's just the Earth's way of not letting go. Let go. Tonight, let's turn our ridiculous wrists so far backwards that the razor blades and our pencil tips cannot get a good angle on all that beauty inside. Step into this with your airplane parts. Move forward and repeat after me with your heart, not your mouth. I no longer need you to fuck me as hard as I hated myself. Make love to me. Like, you know, I am better than the worst thing I ever did. Go slow. I'm new to this, but I have seen nearly every city in the world from a rooftop without jumping. I have realized that the moon, it did not have to be full for us to love it, that we are not tragedy stranded here beneath it, that if my heart really broke, really, every time I fell from love, I would be able to offer you confetti by now. But hearts don't break, y'all. They bruise and get better. We were never tragedies. We were emergencies. So you go ahead, call 911. Tell them I'm having a fantastic time. Thank y'all.
Everything you heard is true, is my response to unsavory language, accusatory remarks thrown my way. Not hearsay, because I'm standing right in front of you. As you let the royal poison drip from your morado serpent tongue, take your indigo ass and frozen heart, stab it with an ice pick, self-sabotage, into the malicious grapevines. No hair, no one cares. Go tell it on the mountain. Broadcast your fake news. Slide on out of here on your patriotic Make America Great Again belly. In the cool magenta earth burrowing deep through the Garden of Eden roots, time travel back to the day of creation, when you're betrayed, unleashed the fury of God, who declared you reprehensible, threatened to crush your puffed up ego under his heel. The King of Kings declared you to be the lowest of the low. Plasma curdling, I wanted a pound. Plasma curdling eternal banishment from the heavens. Pitiful you, abandoned, crawling under the blue cornflower and morning glory. Scarlet roses, thorns pricking at the reptile scales, sloughing off your dead skin of your eternity. Your delusional rhetoric, your inability to reinvent the wheel did not magically change the evil brewing within. Should I feel sorry for you? I'm not qualified to overturn the original sin ruling, especially when I know to get too close to you puts me in peril. And there's no Violet Cape Crusader coming to the rescue, incapable of empathy, having no qualms about striking me. So take your blue blood and cursed apple tainted unalive yourself back to your origin story and quit your purple crying.
How much more can I possibly take? Life's given lemons and all I made were mistakes. Like I can't catch a break and can't make lemonade. This shit is so sour and I'm so depraved. My chest finally caved in from the pressure and I can't be saved. No, not with confession. Who's there to blame and what is the lesson for fortune and fame? I started undressing, exposing my being for all the good that it did, closing eyes, seeing myself as a kid, myself as a runt of the litter. Don't stunt, don't try to play coy, and don't come off too blunt. I'm the chase of the hunt, feeling like prey. Why haven't you noticed? And what would you say? A pardon from POTUS couldn't delay the weight of a tour bus on top of my head. It's like I've been bled, emptied of blood, pale and unfed, stuck in the mud, been left on red, chewing the cud. It's like I said, it comes in a flood. It comes in a storm. It comes in a wave. It comes in a hurricane and it can't be stayed. It comes and won't stop. This game has been played out from the top, yet I can't get away. They say take it one day at a time. And you will get through. Yes, you will be fine. But I've lost my faith in the coming of sun. The night's been so long and it's barely begun. My friends think I'm strong, that I'm so much fun. But damn, are they wrong? Like a shot from a gun. Straight to the dome. Let's put these lights out. Because I can't pay the bills. Someone please end this bout. Someone please end this beating, this constant defeating. The deck, it is stacked against me, conceding that I've lost the game and I'm not believing that I'll be the same after all this bleeding. Heeding advice hasn't helped me one bit because they've raised the price of the sugar. So shit, these lemons ain't changing. They won't become it. And heaven's not claiming me, so I will sit in the fire and brimstone, the sulfur and ash. The higher I go, the longer it lasts. So I'll just stay low, try avoiding the blast that comes from below and out from the past.
I got divorced, and I promised myself then that I would not be one of those women, the ones who are so brittle and angry and bitter towards men. Then I started dating and got caught up in the ridiculous fuckery that seems to be the construct for finding a mate these days. And that's when I tuned into what my sisters were putting down. And I didn't need Dionne Warwick to tell me that my options for a boyfriend were Curly, Mo, and Bozo the Clown. I finally understood why they were so pissed off and half crazed over the shenanigans of these dudes out here. And let me tell you, I have dated them all from 25 to 70. And somehow I keep finding the same guy. I found him at the club. I found him at the gym. I found him at a grocery store. He hit me in the app when I was dashing his door. And here's what I now know. Not one of them does what it says on his box. Every one of them says they're searching for a real woman. No, what they're actually hunting for is some cuckoo for their TikToks. I'm calling 911 to report that testosterone is poisonous to my health. I might have better luck trying to date the Keebler elf. I'm trying to establish a relationship with Cupid, played by Buzz Lightyear. I just want to find someone who actually wants to be here, as in present, as in not just messaging in some box. And it seems like all I do is get asked to see my girls so they can get off on their rocks. It's frustrating to try to date someone who has the emotional maturity of a little boy, and I'm sick and tired of the dating pool zip code being the island of misfit toys. Call me bitter. Call me a bitch if you're so inclined. But when I ordered the grilled cheese special in the form of a man, I didn't know my soup choice was cream of the crap that fell off the back of the Family Dollar truck with a torn label in a dented can. I've tried to be patient and friendly, sweet and engaging in person on those dating apps, but I swear, if one more motherfucker tells me to send him a selfie, I'm gonna hold him at gunpoint. and give him my cash out. The latest debacle was both cluster and foobar. You'd have thought I was an enemy the way he was treating me like his foe. He kept asking me for selfies, and I kept telling him no. I said, I don't know who you've been dating, but selfies don't come from me like that, bro. He told me, you seem more broken than someone I want to get to know. Really, Sugar Plum? Is that because I wouldn't break my boundaries for you and let you treat me like a hoe? Did you think that you would dispense me like Pez for your pleasure and delight? Did you assume I was the candy aisle at Walgreens where you could pick your treat from hundreds off the shelf dressed up in Sunday wrappers, flirtatiously saying, pick me? No, darling, I am not that flavor. I'm juicier than fruit and sweeter than a now and later, kinder than your favorite cousin and funnier than your Uncle Tater, but this girl does not give love on credit and there is no more dine here, pay later. So this is the State of the Union address. And I'm throwing up that emergency flare. These fools out here got me on DEFCON 3. And if they don't quit playing, I'm going to hit that nuke button and cook them all to a perfectly crispy rare.
I often find myself getting lost in your eyes, high and kind, your melting frost in my mind, tossing aside any doubt I've ever held on to. Lost in my pride, I shout, I'll forever belong to you. Watching you move is like a movie to me. You truly are the grooviest being I've ever seen. My queen of green and all things cat related. A concentrated ball of cute molecules. You glued my eyeballs to you. I'm lost without who? Catalyst. Dreaming of your soul since I was nil years old. Breathing in your essence relentlessly. Secretly, I stopped to think what led you to me. Where was I resting before I met thee? When was I blessed to be with you? Why does every day feel like a dream? It's true. I can't figure out how. I was so lucky to meet you. Wishing I could treat you to all the glorious things you seek to do. Side by side, we were always meant to be. Let's ride this ride and see where it brings. The two of us. Our love will ring throughout destiny, a view of trust. Everything we knew to be true of lust and love. I'll always put you above my own soul, 'cause you are my home. I got no other place to go. So, thank you for being there. Thank you for showing me that you care.
Mr. Grief left his card for next time, now that the path is clear and the pain ain't so bad anymore. The smell of lightning rises from the ashes now that the house has burned to the ground. The peals of thunder are barely audible as the storm crawls away. So let the bells ring. Blows landed did their damage, but the pounding's done. Black eyes and broken hearts, there's still rage in this ragged man. Holding on to ropes to stay standing, but I was never strong. This fighter doesn't get to fall. So let the bell ring. Feeling damned made death's dance seductive until putting my shoulder down pushed the dark back enough to get the words out. But demon songs still echo in my ears no matter how much I heal. So let hell ring. I've had my bell rung, been stung, flung. I've fallen, but I never had wings. Always too far from heaven to be heard, but still spitting scripture like some devil's son. So let the muse sing. May these verses resonate. May they give you fuel to fight. Maybe we can spend what we have left feeling less alone. Healing hearts, grabbing hands, listening. I'm listening. I'm still listening. So let the bells ring.
I see you over there, hiding behind the mask of your past. Aren't you tired of blaming others for the things that you cannot grasp? Get over yourself. Grow up. Getting upset at me when you're the one who keeps fucking us up. Swallow your pride. You have no business acting otherwise. All you do is use me for help and support. But when I need it, all you see is dirt. You thrive off of me being in a constant rut, rotting away in the gut. You shrug me off and say, tough. You want everyone to love you without giving it back, taking and breaking, taking and breaking, taking and breaking everything that isn't yours. You've taken so much of me, I've lost track. Given so much of myself, you can't say otherwise, and that's Snapple facts. Haven't had sex in so long. Turn me into a virgin. If I try to flirt with you or or spread your legs, you get so heavily triggered. I have to stop because clearly I'm doing something wrong then. There is no love here, but you refuse to leave. Fuck my feelings as long as you have what you need. It makes no sense to be in a relationship so dense. Hence, the fact that I'm shut down. I've lost all respect for you. You're nothing but a clown with a frown that I can no longer flip upside down. You've you have broken not only my spirit, also my soul. Not that you care though. All you do is fuck up my flow. Although I still love you. That's what makes this so hard. But I can't force myself to be in love with you and fall back into the cracks. Don't get upset when someone new falls into my lap. No looking back.
I am a poet, so I'm no stranger to words being on the tip of my pen. But I'm noticing, staring at my text, words are instead on the tip of my tongue, deep in aching throat, soft parts of chest, imbued in the hair on the back of neck. In the hard parts of my hard-working thighs, muscles making sense of dark rocky paths on the edge of cliffs. Looking down over, I sense, this makes so much more than sense. It makes my soul shudder against doubt, takes my spirit to places higher than the insurmountable mountains I've encountered in my wildest dreams. It seems, for sensations shrouded in ether, I've never been clearer on anything else. A call from below my feet, a whisper, a call to let go. So I surrender, melting into your soft caresses, coaxing walls to gently lay in wake. Death to the parts of my tender heart, scarred by tragedy-inflicted fates. Bridging my resistance to your loving persistence, a consistency that creates a contingency for the life I felt destined to live. But now I see, the pathway is laid, with the expanse of the cosmos splayed open wide for all of life to flood into a future with tributaries feeding me. Steady streams of nourishment flowing right into me from all altitudes, all directions. This is not falling into love. No, not free falling into ocean abyss. This descent I make with intention into the waters of fluidity. We can be exactly who we are. Ebb and flow with the tides tied to our hearts, descent from ways past and days spent, growing beyond our preconceived notions of what it means to be held in love, of what it means to be held in awe, enveloped by the ocean's first womb, salty scent of briny creation, co-conspiring to birth the moon. I am a poet, and so are you. Your written words evoke and stoke all parts of me, spark tongues to become pens. The beginning of the descent into surrender. A flower petal drips with a single drop of dew. A gulp of water from spring. The words bubble up. I love you.
My pen is as much a scalpel as it is a bandage. Both are necessary for this healing process. Cut away at the dead flesh, allow new blood flow, bandage the wound, stop the bleeding. And there are no anesthetics, just painful as it sounds. severing old nerve endings, cutting away dead tissue for the sake of growth. Some surgeries are so intense, you may be required to learn how to walk again, how to hold your neck upright, and a pen between your fingers. They say death is easy, but bodies are made to heal themselves. And what is a body but something to keep alive? Few can look at an empty plot and see a garden. Many look in the mirror and just see dirt. Like God didn't make man out of land, but what is life if not a harvest? A testament to how much work you put in for the good of your future, the love of yourself, your survival. Dirt can be both mud puddle and mountain. Too many times we become stuck mud who aim to drag others down. Track our dirt everywhere with the footsteps, and blame the rain for making us this way. But my pen be both wrecking ball and backhoe, the leader of demolition and foreman of progress, destroying old abandoned parts of me, digging up skeletons that need to be released, in preparation for laying a new foundation. Few can look at an empty lot and see a city. But my pen, the iron worker, building this body of steel bones and welded joints, the engineer designing a spine to withstand the storms time will send my way, and writing the both eulogy and birth certificates, how I am constantly burying old me and birthing anew. I never asked to be a revolving door of past and present, but when ink calls, I answer on the first ring. Disjoin whatever looms necessary to walk again, so that I may not stay in abandoned building. I be whatever paper I need to make man over and over again, for the sake of writing. And by the time the ink runs out, I will be both cemetery of old skit and library of expansion.
For the muses that died to become a slam poem, there's only so many ways you can write about how a bullet hits a body. A knee breaks a neck, how bones crack on concrete, how grief hits a home. Lately, my pen's been running out of ink, my wrist out of blood. I'm tired of getting my writing prompts from a news cycle meant to keep us down. Is this an open mic or an open casket? Poets turn pallbearer, carrying dead weight, a 21-gun salute in an empty graveyard. If a Black boy is murdered and no one writes about him, do you even remember him? If a Black girl goes missing and doesn't reappear in a poem, do you remember her name? Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear how she rebuked the devil, how calling on God be an execution before it be exorcism, and only the Black body gives up the ghost? I swear, I wanted my poems to be a mirror and not a window. I didn't mean to make our pain a spectator sport, but I heard you say their names. So I put them in a poem to keep them alive. Convinced myself it was the same as saving them. I guess my poems ain't nothing more than a hashtag, crisscrossing a fine line between exploitation and expose, tightened it around your throat. I am sorry for the way I bend your body, muse, martyr, metaphor. You see, these poems been sounding like lynchings lately. I tell myself it's because I got them all hanging on by a thread, but what's the difference? Bodies hanging from a mic stand, broken neck, full of bullets. This one has some blood at its feet. But it's just, I've been trying to make them see, like Mamie Till screaming, look what they did to my boy. Casket sharp, Sunday's worse, looking like a 10 at a poetry slam. I shouldn't have said that. What I should have did was cut you down. Instead, I put a soapbox under your feet and wrote a poem. And lately, I've been thinking the only difference between a lynching and a poem is who hung the body first.
Enter into the masquerade, a vast parade of faces. All those in attendance shall remain nameless, a plethora of grotesque figures wandering aimlessly. I'm really hoping no one dressed the same as me. I put a lot of work into my costume over the years to make sure I stand out as well as conform with my peers. I put a different mask on than the one I wear in public in order to amuse this room of masquerading subjects. The peacock, adorned in blue, forges through the crowd, strutting confidently, letting others know she's proud. The lion's main objective is to find some flesh to feast upon. The peacock won't oblige, but craves attention, so she leads him on. The butterfly mingles with everyone who's single, sticking up beside the spider, spidey senses tingle. He hopes to spin a web to catch her in before she flutters off, but she senses his plan and then begins conversing with a moth. The skunk's already drunk and makes excuses that the punch was spiked. The grizzly bear sees this as his opportunity to strike. He blocks her path to offer her another glass of scotch. The bear is overbearing, and I can't bear to watch. I turn my head to see a worm whose head is buried in a book. He's hoping to attract a mate with his sophisticated look. But no one pays him any mind, and so he heads outside to think, while the armadillo curls up in the corner with a drink. While being serenaded by the sweet song of a nightingale, he's falling deeper into a blissful state as she begins to wail. The robin croons song tune until comes the clumsy ox, so waiter spilling glasses and the music stops. And everybody turns to see who caused this insurrection, but the ox refuses to be blamed and points in my direction. But I hide beside a plant and blend in with the shades of green. I'm the chameleon, observing without ever even being seen.
There are always risks in magic, and I feel we have it. Although I may not be fully equipped to handle your heart to the fullest, I'm willing to treat yours in the most nurturing ways that I can. Don't be afraid of falling. If your footing fails you, I'll be your fail safety net. I'll always catch you if you fall and embrace you tenderly, grounding you in the process. Your name has become a prayer every time I speak it. I feel the power of a higher force lifting up my spirit. Whenever your name frolics out of my mouth, I can't help but smile at the thought of that and at any thought of you. May the physicality of our passion lay dormant like a volcano until we engage in seismic activity. Richter scale readings depicting poetry in motion, stretching out in the ways I'm willing to stretch your limbs and limits. I will make your earth quake in the ways you will crumble my sense of reality with every touch from your celestial body. Whenever we open ourselves up to each other, it is the safest game of operation we can ever play. Nobody has ever made this any easier to do before. Here, this is my heart. Take it. Appreciate it at your will. I entrust you to the most vulnerable part of my existence. Do whatever you want with the rest of the body parts, but I want you to have my heart. It beats for you. And you'll know that our hearts play the same beats in synchronized spiritual rhythm when we hear them play together. The magical melodies our hearts will create an itch for us to cut the rug. Watch us redefine hearts breaking into something beautiful.
Can I take these lurid emotions I'm attempting to process furtively, coursing alongside my corpuscles, ivory and burgundy, and transform them fluidly into tendered lexical currency? My brain is barely buzzing, putting out fires of insurgency. Too many lines of thought flagged with please respond urgently are surfacing, serving nothing but to worry me concurrently. The only thing I can seem to articulate clearly now, with certainty, is that I'm currently emerging into a state of panicked emergency. Is it perhaps for want of relational security that I struggle so very much not to take it all so personally? My senseless mind displays not a semblance of common courtesy when it levies self-criticism with little sense for conservancy. I can acknowledge what her words mean without need of a surety, but the fact still remains I face adversity internally over how I can possibly perform this surgery to eternally divorce my desire for fraternization from fraternity. I'll state assuredly from a jury seat, under penalty of perjury, that I acknowledge her decision stemmed from her maturity. Selfishly, I wanted more, but I want what's best for her earnestly. As for what is best for me, I'd say I'm able to see the absurdity of pursuing a relationship all but destined to turn internecine. Yet today my heart ached, so now I write these words nocturnally in the hope that putting them feelings on the page unreservedly can help to cool the heat that I still feel for her so fervidly and forge perhaps something else, stand on its own and sturdily.
My mind's unwinding, finding clues I left behind me, designed for my uprising. I choose the breath inside me, lined by undying views of a muse who sat beside me. Knowledge, I held tight to. Language, I spelled right through. Image, I excelled my sight's true. Through pieces of my past life into speeches that I cast live. A few breaches in my glass eye review teachers as I pass by. I grew true glitches stitched in space-time to expand my mind in lieu of bass vibes. Sincerely, who knew the hinges had been swinging so freely, briefly allowing wishes to seep deep into reality. Clearly astounding, these glimpses creep around me. It's beginning to allow me to see how we fit existing in the now beat. I sit emitting a resounding bright light that surrounds me, insisting I might take flight. Proudly, loudly I sound off, tossed a few words into the sky while I fly around lost, spew 2/3 of my mind at no cost to you or whoever happens to cross paths with. A version of me rapping about these diversionary tactics, them certain words to make them backflip. I classically spit magic. Just so happens I burden birds who passively flew past it. I sarcastically chew plastic, surge into Earth's passage, managed to do damage, artistically, rhythmically laughing about all the past lives I was trapped in. The one known as no one knows what happened. So I fashioned a glowing orb from a flowing storm, so I had something to pass him for hunting crass hymns. Meanwhile, transmitting Gnostic visions by twisting optic ribbons, 'cause I remember being born on more than one occasion. They call me a defender who is sworn to warn all of the neighbors. Do I dare render my physical form based on all the greatest? Am I the bravest? Or am I just a sadist? Flipping through all of life's pages, I found out we're all made with the same sound vibrations. I blame ground displacement for lame unbound migrations. Salutations, my friends, with all my love and appreciation. Wait, what is this? What is this I hear? What is this I see? Do my eyes deceive me? Receiving a transmission, I'm kindly believing in transcriptions while blindly it seems to me this vestige is mildly unsightly. Politely I lightly dismiss this mystic, while I kindly smile nicely, wisely dismissive. This mist of mist, highly unlikely, twisted syndrome tightly persists in nightly wisdom. Vision gone, I exist in the grips of sound signals. Decision strong, I dismiss the trips we found crystals in the shapes of skulls. This place is all a memory, waiting to be lost, to be found. It's so profound, I spin around till I'm dizzy. Sitting next to myself, I quickly realize this is my own mind, a guise I must have hidden from a long, long time ago. So I'll step lightly and stick close to the shadows, so close I've leapt slightly towards the fringe of existence while keeping a distance. These unlikely swords miss this. I have freed the untidy hordes of misfits, gripped in mighty chords, forged in timely resistance, coexistence within this self, within this body, within this, what the fuck is this?
I swear on my life, I have seen this play before. Know the lines by heart in the dark and backwards and in heels. The mind reels at how redundant life can be when you expect new results from the same old insanity. This is nothing new to me, and yet I continue to be amazed at how wrong I can be. I swear by the moon, inconstant as she is, that I know my own mind and its place in the world and its role in my time, and I don't let it play tricks on me anymore. And perhaps I protest too much, that interminable role play, so say it's all in my head. What isn't? I could have sworn I had seen this play before, known the lines by heart in the dark. I still think that it's true, but this nothing new is getting a little irritating, a little tiresome, a little worn, a little more waiting, bating breath until I love myself again. Back to basics. For heaven's sake, it's elementary, a lesson learned, but bears repeating, repeating, repeating. I swear one of these days I'll learn my lesson well enough that I can break this cycle. Fool me just once. I'll stop writing these goddamn poems, stop feeling like I have to show them that I'm totally fine. I swear nothing to see here, but I swear I have been here before. And I swear I know the way out, and I swear it won't happen again until the next time it happens. Good girl, always prettier from a distance, plays her part until she gets too good at it. I didn't understand it then, but man, I do now. Cold comfort that I am so well suited for returning to the first lesson. Love yourself. I am incapable of doing anything else. Overlooked, if not outright repellent. I would ask what is wrong with me if the answer wasn't so fucking obvious. And oh no. I've forgotten myself. No one likes an angry woman. I just could have sworn that I loved myself enough, could have sworn my mind was mine, could have sworn I'd gotten better at delivering my lines. And I swear by the moon or the stars or my own foolish heart, I always land on my feet. But that doesn't give you the right to change the lines on me.
Just as long as Grandma, that pearl's been in my life. The one that Grandpa gave her when she vowed to be his wife. Always there on Grandma's hand, so crossed with lines and kisses, as she pacified the babies and washed the Sunday dishes. Yes, Grandma knew all right that she'd be leaving soon. When she sat me down one night before our honeymoon, she said the time is right to say, I know this pearl belongs on the hand that you'll be holding there beside you when I'm gone. Grandma gave her ring a twist and placed it in my hand, and silently I knew she wanted me to understand that band would always tether our hearts in time and space and stand for 3 small words that even pearls cannot replace. That milky pearl kept shining through the years just like the moon, and even though our love song couldn't carry Grandma's tune, I pray that you still look at it and gaze into the sky and whisper soft to Grandma that for the pearl we tried, I would take back all the pain and swallow all the lies for just one more night and day to gaze into your eyes. My heart would be your shelter. My arms would hold your world, and we would keep together the promise of the pearl.
The night I learn her name does not even have the courtesy to fall off your own lips, to own the names and places you have visited without me. The syllables are simple, names so plain you'd think nothing of it. Think never, think no one. When it scrawls across my own lips, it feels different than I thought it would. It is not marbles, not crunchy, not unpopped kernel to the tooth pain, not drink your tea too hot to the tongue pain, not too hard piece of granola locked in the molar pain.
not wasabi to the nostrils, clear the sinuses kind of pain. It slides out simple, like Sarah or Savage, Susan or someone, something or sadness, statements unstunning, like so many words that came out of your mouth, unremarkable until proven the most mundane massacres of truth. I say it again, it is so small. Like anyone, like Edna, like Ida, like I didn't know, like I didn't want to know this name, but now is in my vernacular, means her, means this, means exist. I wish her a paper doll holding hands in a paper line, nameless, flimsy, and easily torn. It is ugly, all of this, and I want none of it. I wish me a paper airplane, soar above these heads, soar above these names, soar above the drop rock in my stomach upon hearing these ordinary syllables. And this is called plumbing. The first time the toilet clogs after you are gone feels like number one on the list of things no one tells you about being left alone, or maybe number two. It's not that I do not know how to unclog a toilet. I am, in fact, probably slightly better at it than you, truth be told, although we've both had plenty of practice over the years. It's just that when I'm done, there will be no one to turn to and joke about the new record we've set for clogging the toilet the most times in a month, or a year, or a day. So I don't even get the plunger from the basement. I let the shit sit, toilet heavy with waste. What is the point of clearing the crap when I am sitting in it anyway? And the shit isn't funny when you're alone. It just smells wretched and makes you feel dirty all over. Air misted with fecal matter. Once we bought a brand new plunger for a friend of ours. She lived with a roommate and had recently experienced an embarrassing toilet clogging situation. We dressed it in my son's old toddler clothes, placed an old mop head on top for hair, gave it a name, and left it inconspicuously on her porch so her roommate would never know she was in need of a plunger. When I finally do the deed at the end of the day, hear the satisfying swirl and glug glug, that means I am victorious. I strip down to nothing, slide into a scalding shower, and whisper to the water, "Yep, still got it." I walk around smelling shit for weeks.
Extra, extra, read all about it. I own your body with my gaze. Me, my way. Finger point. Advertisement. Whore. Bitch. Witch. Woman. Womb. Body. Do not shrink me, gypsy. Extra, extra, read all about it. I own your body with my gaze, my view, my perspective. Humanity is art when I say it is, when I pay for it. With my hard-earned wheel cogging, flogging, pain is perfect by principle when I purchase it. Nuanced on my command, at my hand, device in hand. You are what I say you are. Fuck your vantage point. Fuck your poetry. Fuck your art. I know what you are. I know you like to fuck. My populist kings make laws for the likes of you, poet, puta, person. I'll take my tits and tips and tonics from Hollywood and the third court, Heil democracy. I'll take my prejudice and pride and Percocet from Adam bit Eve's Apple Music. No fucking excuses. Extra, extra, read all about it. God. That spells good. God. Good morning. I was born naked. I was born a poet. I was born an uneasy woman, same as my mother before me. She would say, "It's natural. Be free, be libre. May she rest at sea. I know nothing of God, of good. Good God, it's a good morning. How are you this morning? Still mourning? Good? God? Your mother? Morning? I'm good. It's a good morning. It's a good morning.
Dear love, they say you should make my heart smile, like sunlight on a quiet morning, spreading warmth gently across horizons, bringing life to everything in your path. But too often I found myself shivering in cold, longing for touch of your rays, only to chase shadows vanishing as I reached out. Your light seemed distant, only a mirage, leaving me lost in the chill of what I thought was real. See, I've loved the wrong people far too many times. People who saw my heart as playground, not sanctuary. I let them in, pulling them close to bosom, mistaking their fleeting touches for craved embraces, boundaries non existent, thinking love should be boundless. But love without limits is a storm without a calm, tearing through everything in its path like tornado winds. When those storms passed, they left me adrift in a sea of despair. Waves of pain so high they stole my breath. I wondered if I'd ever find solid ground again. They say the heart's unyielding. Mine felt like a ship wrecked, scattered pieces afloat aimlessly, waiting for tide to pull me under. And now, here I am, questioning if I ever knew what love really was. Perhaps I've been lying. Perhaps I've been living in a beautiful delusion, holding ideas of you, even when your reality was a cold, distant shore. Maybe that's why I stayed, clinging to illusion, afraid if I walked away, afraid to face the emptiness I feared would follow. But dear love, I know now true love should never feel like this. It shouldn't, it should lift me, not drown me. It should heal, not harm me. Maybe, just maybe, one day I'll find you in a form that makes my heart smile for real, without pain, without doubt, without the need to question if you truly are there. Until then, I'll learn to set boundaries, protect sanctuary of my heart, learn not to fall into the arms of a wolf in sheep's clothing, learn to love myself enough to walk away from storms, search for love that feels like home, because home is where my heart belongs. Home is what's safe, and I need my heart to feel safe from the cold. Sincerely, Angel Kim.